So recordings will be posted to the course YouTube. So if you log into Speech Understanding on Blackboard, you'll find that there's a course YouTube, and this course YouTube channel is where I will post recordings. Currently, it has recordings of all of the lectures from last semester. So if you go to the channel, my computer may be quite slow, but hopefully you can see that it will go to the YouTube channel. Here we go. Here's the introduction to speech understanding. Here's a course introduction, and then lectures 1, 2, 3, etc. from fall 2024. As we go through this semester, I will replace each of these with a lecture recording from this semester. Another thing that you can see is the course Zoom URL. I think you've all found that, so you know that we're currently on the course Zoom URL. And then the third thing is the assignment. This will be the first homework. And then the course GitHub. All of our assignments will be distributed over the course GitHub, and then you will upload them using Blackboard. So if we go to the course GitHub, you should be able to see that there's the Intro to Speech Understanding 2025 Spring, and you can open Lecture 1 if you want, and you can open Lecture 1 notebook.ipynb. We will be using Python for all of our coding this semester. One of the main reasons to take this course is to get more practice in programming Python, I think. So if you go to these files that have an extension of .py are normal Python programming language. Files that have an extension of .ipynb, these are Jupyter notebooks produced using IPython in Jupyter. And GitHub will show it to us, but it seems to be taking a long time. Oh, so maybe I need to show it to you on my own computer. So one way to start Jupyter Notebook is by opening a terminal the way that I'm doing and by typing the words Jupyter space notebook. Notice that Jupyter has a Y in it. There are other ways to start Jupyter, and I'll tell you about those as we go through the lecture today. Okay, in today's lecture, I really just want to introduce to you the how to use GitHub, because GitHub is the way in which I will distribute code to you and the way in which you will get each assignment. Actually, all of the assignments are already on the GitHub page, so you can download all of the assignments and start working on them if you want to do. Today, I want to talk about these 5 things: how to create a GitHub account for yourself, how to fork the course repository, how to install GitHub Desktop. There are many different pieces of software you can use to access GitHub, but one of the easiest is this software called GitHub Desktop. And so I'll talk about how to use that. And then finally, how to use GitHub Desktop to clone software, edit the software, add the software to your repository online, commit the software, and then push it. So in order to use the course software the way that I recommend that you use it, you need to create an account for yourself on GitHub. So if you already have a GitHub account, then you can skip to the next section. Otherwise, please go to github.com. So you just click on this link and it will take you to github.com. And on this web page, you'll be able to create. So this is the account that I see because I already have an account here. But if you have never yet created an account, you'll see something that looks like this. GitHub.com will show you a screen where it asks you to either sign in or sign up. Sign in means you already have an account, so you can sign in. Sign up means that you should create a new account. So create a new account, choose a username. Don't use my email address, use your own email address. Create a password for yourself. Enter a name for your account, the username that you want to use on GitHub. And then the rest of the questions are mostly just optional. For example, would you like to receive product updates by email? I usually say no. They will send a launch code to your email address, and then you can enter that code in order to verify that your email address works. Once you do that, if you want to, you can specify that you're going to work with a group of 10 to 20 students or whatever format that you would like. You can also specify different activities that you're interested in on GitHub, for example, collaborative coding or automation. They didn't have artificial intelligence, but maybe they do by now, or community or team administration. And then you can continue. And finally, once you've done that, then you should have a dashboard that looks something like this. So your dashboard will have a place where you can create a new repository and also a place where you can create updates to your homepage feed. So I'm going to go to my account, my dashboard, and I'm going to change accounts. I'm going to log in, log out of this current account. And I'm going to try signing in as my student account. Oh, let me sign out Jhasagao. That's my teacher account, and let me sign in with my student account. And when I sign in with my student account, I see that I have a cloned version of the Introduction to Speech Understanding, and then I have my own version of the Introduction to Speech Understanding repository. And so that's what I recommend that you do first, is to fork the course repository. So the way that you can do this is go to the original course repository on my account, on Jhasagao, and you should see a repository webpage that looks like this. And then in this repository webpage, choose fork and then create a new fork. So let's try that. Let's go to that webpage, Intro Speech Understanding. And let's choose fork and then create a new fork. Okay, it says I want to fork this into Jhasagao Student Intro Speech Understanding, so I'll click that. And now I've created a new fork. Notice that this is under my student account rather than under my teacher account. It's Jhasagao Student owns this repository. And when you create your own fork, you should have a complete copy of everything that was in the original account. Oh, I want to update this. Discard 21 commits, and then let me then update this code. It says oh, now it's up to date. Now we can see that it has 2025 spring. Good, so I've updated my code so that it's up to date with the main account. If we go to, you see it shows my student icon here and intro speech understanding. It also shows a link to the original account where the code originally came from. And so I can go back and forth between the original account, the teacher account where the code came from, and the student account where I've copied, all of the code has been copied to this new account. So when you've copied this code, you should be able to edit the code in your own account. If you go, for example, to 2025 spring and lecture 1, you should be able to open homework1.py, and you can see all of the text from homework1.py. So once you fork the account, you should be able to should create a new fork. And once you create a new fork, you can choose the name of the fork that you want to create. Your name, as a student, and the repository name can be this should be your own name, but this can be the repository name, Intro Speech Understanding. We want to create a copy of that fork, and it should then create a copy of that for your own account. If you click on code and look under local clone HTTPS, you can see the URL for this repository. So let's try this. Let's go to Intro Speech Understanding. Let's look on code. local HTTPS, you can see the repository. So this is the URL for this account. So if I copy this URL and paste it into a new tab, it will take me directly to that repository. This is the URL that anybody in the world, if you've created it with the default settings, then anybody in the world can go to your account and see this repository by going to this URL, github.com, and then your student name, and then intro speech understanding. All right. Now what we want to do, you can actually edit directly on the directly on GitHub. So we could go directly to this code, and we could go to homework1.py, and we could edit directly on GitHub, but I don't recommend doing that. What I recommend instead is that you download your repository to your own computer, edit on your own computer, and then upload to the server. And then once you've uploaded it to the server, then you can copy the URL into Canvas in order to show me that you've done that repository. So let's go ahead and go through that. I recommend that the software that I think is the easiest way to use this is called GitHub Desktop. There are command line programs that you can use. Git is a command line function, so you can use it in the terminal, but you can also go to desktop.github.com and download the app. So if we go to desktop.github.com, you can just click download now, and you can download GitHub Desktop. I'm downloading it for Mac OS because I'm on a Mac OS. And I'll save it to downloads. And then once I've saved it to downloads, I should be able to open it and sign into github.com. So let me see. Oh, I see my network connection is very slow, so it seems like the download may take a long time. I don't need all these PDFs in my download folder, so I'll delete those. But we can see that the GitHub desktop is taking a long time to download. Let's go through what should happen. Once we download it, we should be able to open it and then sign into github.com using the same username and password that you created when you created your GitHub account in the first place. So you should be able to sign into github.com and then choose Authorized Desktop. And what Authorized Desktop will do is it will allow this software that you've just installed, GitHub Desktop, it will allow that software to access your GitHub account so that you can use this software to download and upload software, including your own repositories, both public and private, and your personal user data can be downloaded and uploaded to GitHub. And then once you've authorized the desktop, then you will go to your web browser and enter the GitHub account's password and click confirm in order to confirm that the software is allowed to use GitHub. Then you will want to configure Git. This email account is an email where when people post messages to you on GitHub, it sends email to this email account, which is, you don't want that to be your main email account. You want to have some separate email account where it can post that email. And if you just use the default value, that should be fine. Once you fix all of that, then you can move the GitHub desktop to the applications folder and then restart GitHub desktop. And then once you've done that, then it should be ready to go. So you want to, let's get started. You clone a repository from the internet, create a tutorial repository that shows you how to use GitHub desktop, or create a new repository on your local computer, on your hard drive. The first thing that you want to do actually is to clone the repository that you've just cloned from remember that you forked an account called Intro Speech Understanding. And so the first thing you'll want to do is to clone that. Cloning means that you take that repository, which is online, and you download a copy to your local computer. And when you download a copy to your local computer, you can edit it on your local computer. And then if it's a copy that you own, Jay Hasegawa student in this case, then you'll be able to push it back up to the server so that any code changes that you make locally will be visible to anybody else to whom you give access to your repository. So here you want to use the code for your own purposes. So you'll contribute to that particular repository without necessarily, so mostly you'll be doing this locally rather than contributing to the global repository in the teacher account. All right, so let's see if GitHub Desktop is still not downloaded. It says it has 11 minutes. That's quite a long time. Well, I already have GitHub Desktop installed, so let me go ahead and open GitHub Desktop since I already have it installed on my computer. And it looks like it's already working with a copy of the repository. So I'm going to delete this main repository and then create a new repository. Where is this repository located? The diff is too large. Okay, it's created a whole bunch of merges, so I'll go ahead and continue those merges. This is merging the changes that I made online with the changes that I made locally. Do not include this file on main. Use the modified file. Use the modified file. Use the modified file. I'm just resolving all of these are the differences between my local version and the version online. It's asking me to resolve some conflicts locally, and I will go ahead and just edit that. And I'll say use the modified file from main. Let's do that. Hmm. Looks like I have a number of changes that need to be made. Let me go ahead and close GitHub Desktop. And let me delete this version so that I can start over again. And it's also Open Spider, which I didn't really want. I'm going to delete the previous GitHub Desktop copy that I had. And let's also cancel this download because I'm not going to use it. Let's see. Let me go ahead and cancel this. All right, and let me try opening GitHub Desktop again. Okay, so now I've deleted my local copy of Intro Speech Understanding, so now I can clone it again. So now on the course webpage, I'm back at this stage where it says, do you want to create a tutorial repository or clone a repository from the internet? And so what I want to do is I want to clone a repository. So I'll set clone, and now it's going to clone it into my local copy at github.com, J Hasegawa student intro speech understanding, which is on my local machine. It's at users, J Hasegawa documents, GitHub intro speech understanding. And so you can see that it's cloning that program. And I can see that it's downloading everything. It seems on my local internet, even cloning the intro speech understanding is taking a while. Once I have that cloned, then I'll be able to edit that program on my own local computer. And so once you have it on your own local computer, what you want to do is you want to edit it. So open up any text editor, TextEdit or Notepad or any other such program, and open the file Intro Speech Understanding 2025 Spring Lecture 1 Homework 1.py using any text editor. So on my computer, this is under documents/github/intro speech understanding /2025 spring/lecture1/homework.py. And it should look something like this. You should get a text file locally. And now what we're going to do is change that text file locally and then commit it to the local repository so that I can then upload it to the cloud. And then we'll take a look and see what it looks like on the cloud. So what we'll do is we'll edit it. We'll change string 1 to read test and string 2 to read hello. And once we've edited it, then we'll go open GitHub Desktop and we will commit this change. You can enter a description of the change to say what you've changed. And then once we've committed it, then we'll push it to the origin. And push it to the origin means take all of those code changes that you've made and push them back onto the web. Once you've pushed them back onto the web, then when you go to your URL on the web, you'll be able to see the changes that you made in the GitHub repository on the web. And so the homework 1, what you'll do is you'll just take that URL, your local URL on the web, and you'll copy that into Canvas. So this will be going to Intro Speech Understanding on your local copy 2025 Spring, Lecture 1, Homework 1.py. And after we've changed this, then you'll copy this URL and simply copy it into this new assignment. Let me change the title of this assignment to Homework 1. So this new assignment will be called Homework 1. All right, let's see if GitHub Desktop is finished downloading. No, it's still at 36%. Well, I guess I have to wait for the internet. Again, the main part of today's homework is just going to be this section 4 from the Jupyter Notebook, the part that says edit, add, commit, and push. So what you should do is have a version of the code on your own computer. Go to the version on your own computer, take these two strings that say change this, and change them to read test and hello. And then commit that change to your repository. And once you've committed it, push it to the origin in order to push it back to github.com. And then copy the URL and put the URL into today's homework. Hmm. And now I'm just waiting for it to download the repository. I hope it will not be as slow when it uploads. I think it's slow today because I'm in a hotel rather than in my home, and the internet in this hotel is somewhat slower than the internet in my home. There we go. Now we have the local repository. Now we can go and let's open any text editor. Let me try just text edit. And using the text editor, let me try opening the program called under Documents, GitHub, Intro Speech Understanding, 2025 Spring, Lecture 1. There's a file called homework1.py. So let's open homework1.py. And in homework1.py, as you see, there's a string called string1, and string1 has the text change this. Let me change that to the word test. String2 has the text change this. Let me change that to the word hello. And now let me save this file. Now this file is on my own computer, right? I can open up the, I can open up any file browser and see it. Let's see, this isn't a file browser. Um, Let me open a file browser so I can go to users. There's my home user, and then I can go um, to documents. Oh, where is documents? Oh, it doesn't show documents here. Oh, oh, here we go, documents. Documents, GitHub, 2025 Spring, Lecture 1, homework1.py, and if I open that, it will open up with a text editor that shows that it's now been changed. So now it says test and hello. Oh, sure, I'll install an update to that. It says test and hello instead of whatever it said before. All right, let me close that. Now that I've done that, now if I go back to GitHub Desktop, you remember this program, GitHub Desktop? It will say, oh, there are 3 changed files, including this file, homework1.py has been changed from change this to test. And so what I want to do is I want to confirm that that's what I want. This is homework1. So commit that to main. Committing it means you confirm that you want this change. So we want this change. And once we confirm that we want that change, then we can push it to the origin. And this means push that code change back to github.com. So now I push it to the origin. It's refreshing the repository on the origin. Now if I go to github.com, under J. Hasegawa student, intro speech understanding, this is my student account now. I can click on 2025 Spring, Lecture 1, and open Homework 1. And you can see that the changes that I made on my own computer are now represented on the web. So all of the changes I made locally on my own computer are now represented online. So at this point, if I go and copy this URL, then we can go to the Homework 1 and just paste the URL here. So you should get a those are the instructions. You should get I think you should have a box here where you can type in the URL. Please let me know if that's not the case, but I think that you should have a rectangle here where you can enter the text of your URL. And that's all. Once you've done that, then I'll go through and take a look and make sure that each of you have been able to create this GitHub repository, and that on your GitHub repository you were able to create this to change a file online. This is the way that we'll do homework every day this semester. Every week this semester there will be one. Every week we'll have one homework assignment, and every homework assignment will you'll be asked to download some code and make some changes to the code, and then upload that code again back to GitHub. So if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask on Canvas, or please just watch this video again on the YouTube channel. Are there any questions right now? Let me stop sharing. Are there any questions about the homework?
No, Sensei.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, please go ahead then and clone that repository and change those two strings and upload a copy to your own. So fork the repository from my account to your account, download clone it to your computer, change it on your computer, and then push it back to your account on github.com. And then let me know what the URL is, and I will check on that and give points for completion. Thank you. I'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you. Bye-bye.